I was tired. I had interviewed a lot of people that day. I was getting tired, and this young man walks into my office with a stack of papers about this thick. He had taken detailed notes of his encounters with the police over about a 9-month period of time. He had documented every stop, every search, every frisk, every time his car was pulled over. He had documented with a description of every encounter. He had names of officers. In some cases, he had badge numbers. He had names of witnesses, people who saw what happened and corroborate. An unbelievable amount of documentation in detail. And the stories he was telling me about what was happening in his neighborhood in Oakland were corroborated by many of the other stories that we'd heard coming out of his neighborhood. So I started to get excited thinking, I found our dream plaintiff. This is the one we've been looking for, you know. And top it off, he was a really good looking young man. He was good looking, photogenic, you know, well spoken, and I thought, here's the one. He will be our named plaintiff in our suit against the Oakland Police Department. I'm getting excited, asking him more questions. Finally, he says something, though, that makes me pause. And I was like, what? It's like, what did you just say? Did you just say you're a drug felon? And he gets quiet for a minute. He's looking down at the table. And then he just looks right at me, right in my eyes, and he says, yeah, I'm a drug felon, but let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you, the police planted drugs on me. They beat up me and my friend. He starts telling me this big, long story about how he was framed. The police sent him up. The police planted drugs on him and his friend. And, you know, the only reason why he took the police because he was scared of going to prison. They told him if he just pled out, he'd just get probation. But now he's got a felony. He can't get a job. And I am sorry. I'm sorry. I cannot represent you if you have a felony record. We are screening people. Felony records. People call our hotline. We'd send a form to them to fill out, asking them a bunch of questions about their experiences with the police. One of them was, have you ever been convicted of a felony? We were asking people about their prior criminal history because we believed we couldn't represent someone in a racial profiling case as the named plaintiff in a racial profiling case if they had had a felony record, because we knew if they were our lead plaintiff, the media, law enforcement would be all over us saying, well, of course the police should be keeping their eye on him. He's a drug felon. What do you think? We knew we couldn't put him on the stand without him being cross-examined for an hour about his prior criminal history in front of the jury, undermining his credibility and, you know, taking the jury's attention off of what the police did and making it all about him and his criminal history. And so we had been screening people with prior criminal records, and he had not metaphorically checked the box. And so I was like, I am sorry. Cannot represent you. I am sorry. We cannot. He keeps trying to explain, give me more details about how he was framed, the police planted drugs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then he gets enraged, and he tells me, you're no better than the police. You're no better than the police. The minute I tell you I'm a felon, you just stop listening. Can't even hear what I have to say. It's like, what's to become of me? What's to become of me? I can't get a job anywhere because of my felony record. I can't get a job anywhere. I can't even get housing. I can't even get into public housing because of my felony record. I haven't anywhere to sleep. I have to sleep in my grandma's basement at night because nowhere else will take me in. So I can't even get food stamps. I can't even get food stamps. How am I supposed to feed myself? How am I supposed to take care of myself as a man? Just good luck finding one young black man in my neighborhood they haven't gotten to yet. They've gotten to us all already. He snatches those papers, all those notes, detailed notes, off the desk, just starts ripping them up, tiny little pieces, throwing them in the air, just snow and white paper in the air, and he walks out yelling at me, you're no better than the police. I can't believe I trusted you. He takes off. Well, several months after that, I'm doing a public access television show that's broadcasting live out of his neighborhood. I'm doing public access TV because we were trying to organize several thousand people to go to protest then Governor Davis's refusal to sign racial profiling legislation. And we had been holding town hall meetings up and down the state, and we were doing this public access TV show a couple days before the big demonstration, trying to urge people to get on the bus and go to the state capitol and attend this big demonstration. And so I'm doing this public access TV show, broadcasting live out of his neighborhood. The minute the show goes off the air, he comes bursting into the studio, carrying this dirty potted plant. And he's all emotional, practically on the verge of tears. He's all shaken up, comes rushing up to me, and he says, "I'm just here to tell you I'm sorry. I'm sorry for how I treated you. I've been watching you on the news, I've been seeing you on TV, I see you out there trying to fight for our people, trying to do the right thing, and I just wanted to come and just tell you I'm sorry." It's like, "I would have bought you some flowers, but I just don't have any money. I snatched this plant off my grandma's front porch."